Hello and welcome back to the Last Walks blog, and it's Wednesday, so it's my discussion. Obviously, the big news, despite the fact we played last night, was what came before the game. The news about Josh Wright, which was later basically confirmed by Adrian Pennock, where his take of events is that Wright's going to come in and just tear his contract up. But regardless of the way it's come about, it's a shame to see it end a little bit sour for Wright's time at the club, because he's been good for us. I know some people are saying he's not an amazing player. He's not, but I don't think anyone for a second can doubt that he really cared. And last season, that was one of the things that a lot of people kept moaning we didn't have enough of. And obviously, he's gone, McDonald's gone, Dak's gone, Nelson's trying to be forced out, it seems. And the comments that Pennock's made in previous weeks about him wanting people that care about the club here doesn't seem to quite stack up with events that have been happening. Again, another argument people make is that, yeah, he's not that good. All he did was score a few goals last season. Yeah, but if it wasn't for those goals that he scored, we'd be a League Two football team as we speak. As a fact of it. He hadn't started this season well. And I think a lot of people would have accepted him going had we have sold him like we had expected. We could have got between 50 and 100 grand for him, I'm sure of that. But the fact he's seemingly leaving for nothing, just having his contract ended, for me, doesn't add up. Isn't the right way to go about it, but it is what it is. It seems to have happened, and we're going to have to try and move on from it. But in terms of on the field matters, we did obviously play Southend again last night in the Checkatrade Trophy, as it's now known. I did attend. I'm not into the boycotting of it. To be honest, I know lots of people are, and I understand the reasons for it, but the home games I just attend because I always do. But it wasn't a bad game. It wasn't a thriller. It wasn't quite as frantic as Saturday's league affair, but it was a good run out for some of the fringe players. In terms of performances, I was pleasantly surprised by Steve Arnold in goal. He made a couple of really good saves. No real dodgy moments. His kicking leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's not the end of the world, I suppose. In terms of the back four, Aimer looks a lot more comfortable in a four than he does in terms of a five or three centre halves. He looks much better in a pair. And him and Nugent, I don't think really put a foot wrong all evening. They were both really good. And obviously, with Gabriel Zakuani away, if we stick with the 4-4-2, which I'm still not convinced Pennock will, but if he does, he's probably going to have to pick one of them two to play alongside Lacey on Saturday. And off of yesterday's performances, I'm not too sure which way I would go. But that's good that they've both performed well and given Pennock that tough decision to make as to which one he'd like to go with. But in midfield, Parker once again reassured why he's far better suited out wide than he is up front. He scored one goal, the second one's an own goal. There is absolutely no way on earth he can claim it. Oldacre's hit a superb free kick which has come off the bar, fallen to Parker, and the defender's put it in. He's toe punted it in. But it was another promising performance from Parker, and one which was much better than anything we've seen from him playing through the middle. Obviously we had Hessenthaler and Oldacre in the middle of midfield. Neither saw an awful lot of the ball, to be honest. But the thing with Oldacre is that even if he's not really involved in the game from open play, as he showed tonight, where one moment we get a free kick, he puts the ball down and we score from it. He's that type of player. He's that good from dead ball situations that out of nowhere the team can be playing poorly, but we can get one set piece and a little bit of quality from him, from a dead ball situation, and we can get a goal. And obviously up front we had Connor Wilkinson and Greg Cundall. Both worked hard. Wilkinson's performance was probably slightly better than Greg's. I do like Wilkinson, but again tonight, with a couple of minutes to go, he's needlessly lunged into a challenge and was booked. But maybe on another day could have seen himself sent off, and he just needs to cut that little bit out, because nothing happened to wind him up or agitate him. It just came from nowhere. A bit like the tackle against Bradford, but saw him sent off. It was all a bit strange, but they did okay up front. They did okay. They were better in the first half than the second, I thought, but there was bright sparks there. Continues to add to the competition. And off the bench, Elliot List come on up front and he did okay. He put himself about. Aaron Simpson come on at left back, was good. And Byrne come on really, really late, so it's not really an awful lot to go off there. But obviously there was a lot of fringe players that play, and so obviously a win is never a bad thing, regardless of the team we put out, the competition or the opposition we're playing against. But how much of a bearing it's going to have on Saturday's game coming up against Shrewsbury, I'm not too sure, because I can probably only see from those that started the game tonight, maybe O'Neill, Ogilvie, one of the centre backs, Parker. That's probably it that I can see starting the game, to be honest. But I don't think we've picked up any serious injuries. The goalkeeper got kicked in the face from McGlashan. Naughty of him, to be honest, but he'll be okay, and obviously you'd expect Holy will come back in for the league game anyway. But not a bad evening for Gills, but obviously because people aren't that fussed by the competition anyway, it will be overshadowed by the news about Josh Wright. But it is what it is. We're going to have to try and move on with it. Unfortunately for Pennock, it's upset a lot of people, and he might feel the brunt of that if Saturday's result or performance doesn't go to plan. A lot of fans will probably see it as a time to vent a lot of frustration, but hopefully we can get our first league win of the season on Saturday instead, and maybe the Josh Wright stuff will be forgotten a lot quicker as to what it will if we go another 3 or 4 games without winning in the league, and it'll constantly keep being brought up. But that's all from me tonight. Yeah, a good win for Gills in the Checkatrade Trophy, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not the bread and butter for us this season. We've got to now try and build that momentum and get a win in the league starting from Shrewsbury on Saturday. But until next time, up the Gills.